what is your stance on single-payer healthcare and why? Ms. Watson.
So my stance on single payer is that I very strongly support it. I think that we need to move to Medicare for all, and I think it's incredibly important that there is now strong support in both the House and the Senate behind that legislation. I think it's a wonderful thing. I have seen in my own family the difference that having access to affordable health care, and in fact having Medicare makes. My dad was in a coma for 4 weeks last year, and he was in the hospital for 16, and he is doing great right now, and I always feel like I have to knock on something. It really was Medicare that made the difference and that kept our family from going bankrupt. But when I go across the district, I talk to people all the time who cannot afford to fill their prescriptions. I mean, this is really more common than not, who can't afford basic health care. And that's wrong. In the richest nation on earth, health care is a right that we should all have. So there's absolutely no question that single payer is the way to go. I also think we cannot let this administration sabotage the ACA, because I know how many people I have spoken to who only got health care because the ACA said even if you have a pre-existing condition, you can get that care. That's so important. And so I will not stand idly by as Donald Trump tries to sabotage it, as the Senate Republicans with their terrible tax scam try to sabotage it. I will stand up and fight back. And I know that all of you will too. And I want to say how important it has been that you have shared your stories and that Hoosiers all across the state stood up and fought for our health care. The ACA was never so popular as when they tried to attack it. And it shows what happens when we stand up and when we fight back, we win.
I support single payer wholeheartedly. I think that it is the direction that we need to go in. It is the wave of the future. I have supported it for quite some time now. I think, the way in which that we talk about single payer healthcare is really, really important too, because the natural response to when we say we're in favor of single payer, finally, more and more Democrats are coming out and saying we favor single payer. Even establishment Democrats are coming out and saying we favor single payer. And so the first question that we get hit with is, well, how are you going to afford it? How are you going to come up with the money to pay for all that? Isn't it going to be super prohibitively expensive? Well, again, I think it goes back to if we make an investment in our people, that investment is going to pay dividends over the long haul. People understand the language of investment. So if we're investing money in a single payer system, we're investing money in our people, we know we're going to get that back on the back end. And a system in which we have to, it's a pitiful shame in this country that we have a system in which people go bankrupt and die because they can't pay a medical bill. And surely that is too costly. That is more costly in both moral terms and economic terms than the United States can bear. And the numbers bear that out too. If you look at a single payer system, and the thing that they always want to throw at us, the single payer, HR 676 is going to cost us, $32 trillion, or whatever the number is. $32 trillion is what they want to throw at us. $32 trillion over 10 years. Well, yes, that's true, and that takes a lot of money, and it's something that is worth investing in, and we save money on the back end. But if you look at the same cost, just look at the raw cost of what we're going to spend in our current healthcare nightmare that we're living through. Over the next 10 years, we'd spend $49 trillion. So we save money. It's the right thing to do morally, and I support it wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Healthcare is something that we all need. This is a very personal thing for me. It is for everybody. But I've spent most of my life without health care coverage. I don't know about the rest of you, but the majority of my life I haven't had health care. When I do, it's always a hassle. It needs to be simplified in so many ways, streamlined. At this point, as far as the cost is concerned, I know that the benefit outweighs the cost by going single payer. Totally support that. Even as a trucker, I go all over the country, and if I walk into a clinic, they don't know who the hell I am. I give my ID, and then they just don't have a clue. There's no standardization, I'm out of network, so if I get sick outside anywhere I am in the country, that's it. And I have been. I mean, I've literally, I've had infections and kidney stones, and literally on the side of the road in agony because I didn't have, I couldn't afford to go to the hospital when I was on the road. I mean, that's just ridiculous, and I have to, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I really don't understand the stories. The other concern I have is for my parents. They're both in their late 70s, and first time ever we had this talk talking about having these programs taken away from us, worried about their Social Security. We've already sat around our table at home and talking about what we might have to do, whether consolidate our households for the first time. So the fact that I'm unaware of what we need to do and the kinds of things that we need to make sure that people have healthy, well lives is, I think we all know. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Certainly need to, the ACA, it's a Band-Aid. It's great. I'm on Obamacare right now. I'd be in so much trouble if I didn't have it, but there's still some things that, it's just worried, and I have to worry from year to year about making sure I have coverage, and my partner Derek, we have to make sure to do all the paperwork, fill that out, so a lot of that stuff we could streamline.